Hi, this is Chester Moore, and I am in my natural habitat. Although I spent a lot of time doing this, writing stories and editing photos and putting podcasts and radio programs together, the ultimate goal is to be out here celebrating God's creation, these magnificent places like the Warren Ranch here, and sort of the northern tier of the Texas Hill Country. You know, wildlife conservation is not just a concept to me. It's a way of life. It's easy as breathing, because the idea of making sure that wild sheep and wild turkeys and redfish and flounder and bonefish and all these magnificent resources last into eternity is just really, really important thing to me. And in our ministry, our main goal is to bring the love of Christ to hurting children through wildlife encounters, kids who have been through a trauma, who are dealing with critical illness and all of these things, because there's something healing about wildlife. There's something incredible about being in wild places that give people hope. But a few years ago, we began an outreach of our ministry called Higher Calling Wildlife. And the goal of that is to mentor teens that we work with, teens that have faced special challenges, to become wildlife conservationists. See, the real trendy thing to say is, we're going to create the next generation of conservationists. No. Higher Calling Wildlife is creating the now generation of conservationists. And what we're doing is we're taking teens that are facing these challenges who love wildlife and mentoring them to use media, traditional media, social media, for wildlife conservation purposes. Use artwork, photography for wildlife conservation purposes. It began taking some boys on an expedition to fish for Guadalupe bass in the Nueces River and teaching them to use their social feed to talk about stream health and catch and release of that state fish, the Guadalupe bass. We've taken a young lady to go do desert bighorn captures with Texas Parks and Wildlife out of Elephant Mountain Wildlife Management Area. And our friends at Texas Parks and Wildlife, the National Wild Turkey Federation, Spring Creek Outdoors have all provided opportunities for kids to go release wild turkeys back into their habitat. And the key here is this: experience meets media, telling them they can be a voice. Because you know, when you're a young person and you've had a really difficult challenge in life, what it does, it sets a limit. When that moment happens, you get that health diagnosis, that person in your family dies, whatever that traumatic moment is, that becomes your marker in life for like, nothing will ever get better than it was yesterday before I heard this news. We want to let them know that through what we're doing, they can have a purpose in their life. They can be visionary conservationists, these kids who love wildlife, who love hunting and fishing, that they can not only go enjoy the great outdoors, they can be a voice today to make sure we have these resources for tomorrow. And that is what inspires me at really new levels. You know, I have been literally to the mountain in wildlife experience. I've experienced incredible things by the grace of God and a lot of hard work. But to see a young person who's been through something be able to take a box that has a wild turkey in it that was in Maine the day before, putting it into Texas and reclaiming ground for that species, knowing they got to set it free, is an amazing thing. That inspires me. You know what happens when I get inspired? It gets dangerous, because some hard work's gonna come and some vision's gonna be laid out. So we want you to find creative ways to help us with this project. You can help fund these projects. If you have animals on your ranch, you can help facilitate these things. Maybe you got fishing equipment. Maybe you have expertise or connections. We need you to reach out to us. The two ways to do this: go to highercalling.net. You can reach me there through my blog. You can find me on Instagram at @thechestermoore, on Facebook at Higher Calling Wildlife, or email me at chester@chestermoore.com. And we're also looking for young people who qualify for this. If you have a young person who's a teenager and they really like wildlife and they have a critical illness they're dealing with, they've lost a parent or a sibling, or maybe some other really serious challenges, if you think that we can help them, we'll be there. And we'll make sure they have experiences they'll never forget in their life. We want them to know that their tomorrow can be greater than their today, and they can do it through wildlife. And I'm telling you, I'm making a prediction right now. I am making a prediction. Within the next 10 years, one of the young people that come through our program who are already involved in wildlife conservation will be one of the game changers, because the good Lord was with us. And we dared to invest in the very least, the ones that a lot of people think, oh, those are the ones that are least likely to succeed, least likely, poor kids. No, we go to the back of the line, take their hand, take them up to the front and say, you first. That's what Higher Calling Wildlife's all about.